Hello and welcome to the Firelands Raid Guide. My name is Eliana, and in this video I'll show you all you have to know about Beth'tilac, one of the first encounters you come across in this new raid instance. This guide is up to date as of patch 4.2, but some details may become irrelevant or even incorrect in the future. Beth'tilac is a two-phase encounter. For the first phase, you'll have to split up your raid into two teams and deal with a lot of adds, while the second phase is a stationary burn in which you have to kill Beth'tilac before the raid damage becomes overwhelming. We defeated this fight with 2 tanks, 7 healers and 16 DPS, but similar raid configurations may work just as well. Less healers, for instance. For phase 1, you will need a team consisting of 1 tank, 2 healers and about 3 to 7 DPS that's assigned to deal with Beth'tilac herself, who upon the start of the fight will retreat to an upper platform. The rest of your raid stays downstairs and takes care of the various adds that Beth'tilac will summon. The amount of DPS that can join your upstairs team to fight Beth'tilac herself is dependent on how many DPS you need downstairs to deal with the adds in a timely manner. Preferably, you'll want your AoE DPS downstairs, while single target DPS is better suited for upstairs. As soon as you engage Beth'tilac, she'll retreat upstairs and barrage the raid with AoE damage until people join her on her web. Shortly after, a lot of cinder web spinners will appear. If taunted, they'll drop to the ground. They don't deal a whole lot of damage and they target random players. When you defeat them, the strand of spider silk that they descended on will turn into a vehicle that your raid members can click on to reach the top of the web and fight Beth'tilac herself. Make sure that your tank is the first person to climb up and that at least one healer follows right after. This should be communicated on vent, and DPS should wait until both tank and healer secure the line. Once on Beth'tilac's web, there's some AoE damage that goes out, but your downstairs team will not have to deal with any more AoE damage until Beth'tilac is by herself again. Tanking her is easy, and the only thing your upstairs team has to look out for are meteors that come down on random raid members and will deal significant damage. Fire remains on the ground where they landed, so don't stand in it. Beth'tilac will continuously lose energy, and once her bar hits 0, she'll start channeling an 8-second spell called Smoldering Devastation. Anyone remaining upstairs when the cast goes off will die. Yup, even through bubbles, so don't even try. While she's casting this, every person upstairs needs to jump back down through the hole in the middle of the web and join the downstairs team. Once she finishes her devastation cast, Beth'tilac will go back to dealing AoE damage to everyone downstairs and sending more spinners into your raid. So repeat the same thing you did last time. Kill the spinners and take the vehicles back up. She'll cast Smoldering Devastation 3 times before permanently joining your raid downstairs, so you'll have to repeat this pattern until then. While your upstairs team is busy repeating this cycle, your downstairs team has to deal with 2 more types of adds: Cinderweb drones and Cinderweb spiderlings. The spiderlings will move towards the drones, and should they come close to them, the drones will eat them and gain an attack buff as well as some health back. So your goal is to kill the spiderlings before they ever reach the drones. The spiderlings will always come from the northwest, northeast, and southeast corners, which leaves the southwest open for your downstairs tank to drag the drones to and tank them. Your AoE DPS should be split up into 3 groups to take care of the approaching spiderlings from each direction. If you have hunters available or other classes that are capable of AoE slows, you should utilize them to maximize the time you have before the spiderlings reach the drones. We assign 3 DPS to each corner, but you might need more or less depending on the DPS your raid is capable of. All other DPS remaining downstairs should focus on killing the drones. If a drone does not die by the time his energy is depleted, he'll join Beth'tilac upstairs and siphon her energy, giving you less time to DPS her. There will be a constant stream of adds throughout phase 1 even while your upstairs team temporarily rejoins you, so always make sure to kill all adds in a timely manner. Until new spinners appear, your upstairs team should help out with any remaining adds. Finding a balance of DPS for all the adds as well as the upstairs team is half the battle of the first phase. By the time Beth'tilac completes her 3rd devastation, she was at about 80% health for us and we still managed to kill her, but getting her lower in phase 1 would certainly make phase 2 easier. Once Beth'tilac descends after her 3rd devastation, no more adds will spawn. If you have any adds remaining though, take them out as quickly as possible. Beth'tilac will cast Frenzy on herself periodically until she dies, and with each stack of Frenzy she gains, she'll do 5% more damage. This applies to her normal hits as well as her pulsing AoE damage. This sets a soft enrage timer. The shorter this phase is, the better. Other than that, it's a tank and spank phase. The tank that picks her up at the start of the phase should drag her to the middle of the room, and the rest of the rage should stack up at her tail end. No one should remain within 10 yards of her current tank, as he'll stack up a debuff called the Widow's Kiss, which makes him deal damage to others within 10 yards around him. The Widow's Kiss also stacks up a healing debuff, and after a while, he'll barely be able to be healed at all. At this time, your off-tank should taunt Beth'tilac while your main tank runs out of the raid to reset his debuff. If needed, make good use of Bloodlust, Heroism, or Time Warp during this phase, and set up a chain of raid cooldowns such as Powered Barrier, Rallying Cry, Divine Guardian, or Tranquility as her frenzy stacks get higher. Tanks might also want to utilize self cooldowns towards the end of the fight. That's all the tips I have for Beth'tilac. As always, good luck and have fun. I've attached footage of the whole encounter in case you want to see how we dealt with the various mechanics in detail. We're about to engage the encounter here, and the first thing Beth'tilac does is disappear to a web upstairs, and she leaves us with this spray that just deals AoE damage to everybody. It deals a significant amount of damage, but you see already the spinners are appearing and they die really fast. So as soon as one spinner leaves his line, the tank can go up and the AoE damage stops. A healer should follow right after, and then all the other DPS and other people that are going upstairs can join as well. I'm one of the upstairs healers, so you can see this is what it looks like. We have Beth'tilac, we have her tank, and everybody else is just kind of spread out around the web. There's a big old hole in the middle. Through the hole you can go back down. It says in the dungeon journal that the meteors that spawn, as you can see right here, will also leave holes, but we haven't actually found that to be true. So the hole in the middle is your best bet to get back downstairs. Her energy depletes pretty rapidly, so as soon as her energy completely runs out, you want to make your way back downstairs, but in the meantime you kind of want to try to deal as much damage as possible. As you can see, she does the pulsing AoE thing, which deals damage to everybody. She does that in phase 2 as well, and it is affected by Frenzy. She's casting Devastation right now, so everybody's going back down and temporarily joining the downstairs team, who are all dealing with the various ads coming in. You can see the spots that the spiderlings spawn at are marked with rate markers. It's a good idea to do that. Spinners are coming down, so we're gonna kill them and go back upstairs here. But you get a pretty decent look at how exactly you're supposed to deal with all the other ads. Finding a line-up can sometimes be tricky, especially if nobody is paying particular attention to the spinners because they're still busy with the other ads. But if you're a tank, well, rather if you're the healer, make sure to follow right after the tank, otherwise he is gonna die pretty quickly. Other than that, this just repeats 3 times in total, and then phase 2 starts, which is where things get a little more interesting. And you can see there's some spiderlings coming in, walking right over a frost trap, away from the drones which are being kited in the background there. Not necessarily in the best spot, but I imagine they had some trouble keeping the spiderlings from the drones. And spinners are back, and we're going back up for the last time. As soon as her devastation cast is over, Beth'tilac will actually go downstairs and the tank has to pick her up immediately. We don't stack up right away here, although we should have, mostly due to the fact that this was our second attempt at this boss. But yes, once she comes down, have all the raids stack up on her tail end, kill all the ads that are still up, especially any spiderlings, because Beth'tilac also eats spiderlings and gains health back, which is bad, obviously. But yes, stack so you have the best possible way of dealing with all the AoE damage that's gonna go out here, especially if your Beth'tilac is still high on health. And that's basically the whole encounter. Your tanks might have to switch out once or twice for the Widow's Kiss debuff. As you can see, one of our tanks is moving out right here to let this debuff drop off. It really depends on how high their debuff gets though, and they should be able to determine it best by just watching how high it gets. And that's all I got. So good luck and have fun as always.